In the repair shop today, the experts are firing on all cylinders.
1,000!
As the 1930s pinball machine has brought ricocheting back to life.
My life is fulfilled. I can die in peace now.
While storm clouds gather for Steve as he attempts to revive a century-old weather gauge.
How this clock was ever going, I don't know. It's absolutely full of black grease.
But today's first visitor is Julie Yates from Leicestershire. She's had an important piece of family history delivered for the attention of Will Kirk.
Hi there.
Hello.
I'm Will.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Julie.
Very nice to meet you, Julie.
Hi.
I presume this is yours?
This is mine.
Lovely
yeah.
little horse. So what are your earliest memories of the horse?
My parents bought it for me from a store in Exeter when I was 2. They must have fallen in love with it. Apparently it was in the window. Hadn't used to look like this. It was dapple grey. I played on it an awful lot. I used to have my friends round to play. We played on it very, very hard. I know it fell over a few times. Just lovely, a lovely item to have. When I left home, the rocking horse came with my husband, Paul, and myself. Children came along. 2 boys, they remember it, and obviously it was pretty old by then. It was looking tired. And Paul and myself decided to restore it in the late 80s.
Okay.
And we didn't do a very good job. We did what was easy for us. We didn't do a very good job on the eyes. And the second son has never liked it. He's just found it scary.
Scary. Well, I can see the eyes.
Because of the eyes. And he's been stored in the loft for a while.
Once their children had left home and started to have families of their own, Julie and Paul made plans to renovate the rocking horse for the next generation. But before they could begin, the family received some shocking news.
Up until last year, we didn't even know that Paul was ill. And on Boxing Day, just gone, we found out that he got terminal cancer. So he knew he wouldn't be able to restore it, which he was hoping to do for the grandchildren that are on the way. And then within, up in three or 4 months, he'd passed away. You know, they say people looking down, he'll be happy to know it's here.
It's really nice that you have that you both restore this together. Obviously, the sentimental value of this and the memories of doing that. What would you like me to do with the horse, restoration-wise?
I'm happy for you to do it however you can. I'd love it to be how it was, but it doesn't matter.
What about things like the colour?
We chose the colour because it was easy. It was dappled. It was, you know, got dappling here.
Yeah.
I remember the stirrups were red.
Stirrups were red.
But we did a decent job of the saddle, or we thought we did, and underneath there, Paul's signed his name and dated it. So he did say if ever one of the boys restore it, you know, they'll find his name under there. So if you do find Paul's name under there, if the pen has stayed, if that could be left on, just testing my memory, but I think his name's going to be under there.
Lovely.
All right.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
It's in safe hands.
Good.
And it'd be a real pleasure to work on. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm happy that the rocking horse is at the repair shop. I'm hoping that Will can make it look attractive, because at the moment it doesn't. I'm hoping that the little grandkids are going to love it as much as I did when I was little. I know he's in good hands, and I know he's going to look a lot better than when Paul and I restored him a long, long time ago.
So I'm just having a look at Julie's horse. It needs a lot of work. I mean, looking at the paintwork, it's all peeling off. The plasterwork underneath is peeling off. The wood on the inside might be separating from each other. I just won't know until I kind of get the mane off, get this leather off, so I can get a better look, basically.
Handily, the repair shop is host to one of the country's finest saddlery experts, Suzie Fletcher, who has a lifelong passion for everything equestrian.
Hey, hey.
Oh, my word, what have you got there?
Oh, this is a heavy horse.
OK.
It would be really nice if you could assess the leatherwork and see if something needs to be replaced. The saddle, there's a chance that it could have Julie's husband's name written underneath on the wood. They had repainted this back in the 80s.
OK. So that would be lovely if I'm going to be taking it all off to find the signature underneath.
Yeah.
How about if I made a saddle that could be removed so the family can always look at...
That is an amazing idea.
You know where I'm going with this
Are
idea?
you able to do that? Of course you are.
Yeah.
You're very clever.
Yeah.
I'll leave him with you.
OK, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Will.
Will and Suzie begin work on the rocking horse. But outside, another visitor is seeking counsel on a childhood favourite. Esther Souter from Sussex.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm fine.
All right, Esther, I'm Jay.
Hello, I'm Jeff.
Geoff Harvey is the pinball wizard tasked with getting this vintage amusement back into winning condition.
So this lovely game is yours, yeah?
Yes. My grandfather bought it in, I guess, the late 30s because rumour has it, it came off one of the Brighton piers. Whether he went to an auction house or whether he went to the pier and bought it, I just don't know.
Interestingly, I've never seen this actual model before,
OK.
which most have come across. There's a sort of standard layout a lot of these bagatelle-type machines used, and this is one of them. It's bigger than usual. Most machines of the 30s are a little bit smaller, and it's called a pinball, obviously, because of these pins.
They're actually in quite good nick, aren't they?
They are, remarkably. Normally, they're very rusty and very thin.
Yeah.
Good quality nails, you see. I mean, the good steel industry, then.
So what is your earliest memories of this game?
I think it's in the attic of the 1920s bungalow my grandparents had in Brighton. There was a massive billiard table and this, another sort of debris that one has in an attic.
OK.
And then I must have got it from my family about 35 years ago, and the children played with it. So it's had a lot of love.
So when was the last time this was played?
I think probably in my back garden in Horsham 25 years ago. Sadly, the glass top got broken, and all the balls are inside, 6 old pennies, and if you lift it up, you will see inside there's some pencil markings.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm not quite sure whether they're showing the number of scores or what.
I think that might be the wages of sin written there, as it were, in terms of how many pennies.
Oh, dear.
But it was really, people were paying for fun and amusement. It looks very nicely made. I mean, it's simple, but very sturdily constructed, which is lovely. But this is a lovely little thing. I mean, I will need to see how it works and what doesn't work.
I think it probably got a bit rusty in the garage, and also, as I said, it did have a plate glass top, which somehow got broken. Then I was frightened to let the children use it in case they, cut themselves. But they're very excited.
But the playfield, apart from a little bit of damage there, which may be when the glass got broken,
Yes, I think
it's in amazing condition for its age.
The balls should be lined up along there.
OK.
And then you would pull the handle, and one at a time they'll ping round. And if you're lucky, you get free.
You get another go?
Yeah.
OK. So if we're able to get this fully restored, where would it go?
At the top of my house, I've got the cross between my childhood and a museum for my grandchildren with dolls' houses and things. Yeah. So it will go in there.
So just like your grandfather, you're creating a games room for your grandchildren?
Yes, I suppose I am.
A lovely little thing, and I'm optimistic in a cautious manner.
Thank you very much. That's lovely.
Thank you for bringing it in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm really looking forward to getting the pinball machine back. It'll be lovely to see it working again after 25 or 30 years, and especially to see my grandchildren who haven't seen it operational. They can see the pinball restored and working. So when it's finished and hopefully mended, we shall have a family gathering and get some pennies and play with it.
Now, this is great that it's been in Esther's family for so long, and she wants to keep it that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's more fun working on something when you know the history as well. It gives you sort of a motive, actually. Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. Very lovely. Looks in remarkable nick for its age,
It
a
does,
bit
doesn't it?
battered.
Yeah.
Hopefully can get it running. If it's all there, it'll be cleaning up parts or getting C's parts working. Shame it's been in the damp at some point or in the shed,
Yeah.
but the woodwork's not too bad. Playfield's good. I think we're in with a sporting chance.
Well, that's good. All right, well, let's get it to your bench.
Lovely. Let's have a look.
Okay.
Firstly, I want to see what actually happens when you put a penny in, which I haven't tried, if anything. That goes there. Yeah, and that... Brilliant. So that does work.
But the ball release mechanism is another story.
This is what the problem is at the moment. That's very, very stiff. When it works, you let the balls drop through. But I think a bit of a grease, a bit of an oil, and I think then we can look at this mechanism. It's all very, very exciting. Well, to someone like me, it is anyway.
Across the workshop, Suzie is preparing to remove the saddle of the rocking horse, in the hope that the poignant signature lies beneath.
Julie is fairly confident that Paul did sign under the saddle when they renovated back in the 80s. I really, really hope it's here. I'm just going to take the leather off first. So, I too lost my husband to cancer. It seems so insignificant, someone's name that they wrote. It's so personal. I'm really pleased for Julie that it's here. Really pleased for the children. Oh, I didn't think that would happen. So, this is going to be a very emotional job to do, but incredibly worthwhile. We'll get on with this now.
In the outdoor workshop, Will has begun the enormous task of restoring the horse's woodwork.
So what I'm doing now is I'm using a two-part filler to fill in the larger areas of missing plaster.
Filling and sanding stabilizes the horse's structure, while giving a smooth surface ready for the next stage.
I'm just brushing on some white primer now, sort of work as a nice white, clean background to work on. Get rid of any sort of imperfections that are sort of left behind on the surface. Once that's dry, then I can start working on the detail.
Inside, Susie's working on some detail of her own.
So what are we up to?
Saddle. And I thought I would make it a little bit blingy.
OK, I do like the sound of that.
So, what I decided to do was to do a little bit of gold foil embossing on the flap. This is the flap of the saddle.
All right, well, how'd you put that on there?
So you have these sheets of gold foil, and this is the tool that you use for the job.
Oh, is it?
Suzie needs to heat the tool to just the right temperature, so when pressure is applied, the gold foil will transfer onto the leather.
Oh,
Yeah.
now that is nice. And this won't rub off or nothing, no?
No, if you've got the temperature right, then you actually push it in the leather a little bit.
That's so satisfying.
The repair shop welcomes all manner of historical items for specialist attention. And today sees another example. Meteorology and climate student Ollie has brought a scientific curio for mechanical whiz Steve Fletcher.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Steve.
Hi, I'm Ollie. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Pop your box on there. What have we got?
It's Richard Frere's Barograph.
All right.
The Barograph is a Victorian instrument that predicts the weather by measuring the air pressure in the atmosphere. A barometer that draws a graph.
My uncle gave it to me, and he received it from an elderly lady whose late husband was really interested in meteorology. And of course, she thought that he would give it to me because she wanted it to go to someone who was really interested in it as well. And obviously, I study it. My granddad is really interested in it as well.
Have you always been interested in weather?
Yeah, from quite a young age. It's extreme events and all that sort of thing, so snow, heavy snowfalls. And from very small, I've always loved thunderstorms and things like that. People think I'm crazy, but I love it, yeah.
So this rotates once a week, and the atmospheric pressure actually alters the pressure inside, and that moves this arm here, which has the nib on the end, and that just goes up and down. They are really good fun, and you're right, when you get the extremes happen, like the storm of '87.
Yes.
I had one in my workshop at that time, and it drew a line straight down the graph.
Yeah, straight.
It's an amazing event.
Yeah, huge drop, yeah.
So it's good to record those events.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a really nice quality piece. And what would you like me to do with it apart from get it going? Would you like it all cleaned up?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, fantastic. That would be brilliant, because I know it has some marks in it in some places, and maybe some of the woodwork's bashed.
OK, I think that's a job for Will to do. I'll do the mechanics, and he can do the woodwork, I think.
OK.
Well, I look forward to getting this all sparkling and working well for you, so that you can keep it in the future and enjoy watching the weather.
That would be brilliant. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you, thanks.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Well, the Barograph is quite a treasured possession and quite a special item. It'd be really, really fantastic to see it all working again.
This is a real neat little barograph, actually. Well-made piece, and around about 120 years old. It's probably never been apart in its life. Maybe the clock mechanism has, but I don't think the rest of it's been apart. It's lovely that the original ink bottle is still there.
The barograph may not tell the time, but the paper-covered barrel is turned by a clockwork mechanism.
The movement should just pop out nicely. There we are. It's absolutely filthy dirty in there, and obviously needs a thorough good clean. It's going to be a lovely piece again. Ollie should be very, very proud of having this. Nice thing for someone that actually works with the weather to own.
On the opposite workbench, Jeff is on his own mechanical mystery tour, trying to pinpoint where the 1930s pinball machine is going wrong.
What I'm hoping to do is get this piece off, which has the mechanism that drops the balls to start the game, which is jammed. Fingers crossed. Hey, look at that. Here we go. Underneath is this metal plate that allows the balls to drop through, but at the moment this is very, very stiff indeed. That's much better. Just by loosening these screws, the thing moves now. I think the wood had probably warped a little bit. This machine is actually not in bad condition, but I think the problem is that it's been put in the damp at some point. And the moment you get damp, you get problems. done a little bit of research and found out about this machine, because I've never heard of spry ball before. And I found this actual one was made in Coventry, of all places. And it was actually based on an American machine called Rainbow. And I could just see this on a nice, lovely Victorian pier somewhere. 30s, you know, people were really like their bit of entertainment, and the seaside was such a massive part of that. People's idea of entertainment was so different from ours, and there's something charming about that, I have to admit. It's lovely. It's got a lovely history, this little fellow. I'm going to see if I can get these screws out and give it a clean. Well, I have to admit, if I look as good as this when I'm in my 80s, I'll be delighted. A little bit corroded, but only a tiny bit. Lovely.
With the mechanism cleaned and fitted back into the machine, the game needs to be tested.
Oh, my God! My life is fulfilled. I can die in peace now.
The next step is to restore the paintwork, and that requires a steady hand and an artistic eye. For fine brushstrokes, it's a job for ceramics conservator Kirsten.
Do you think you could do anything about these little bits here? Just touch it up just so it doesn't show.
Yeah, I'm happy to give it a go.
Thank you very much indeed. Brilliant. Cheers.
So this is a bit of a new one for me. I've never worked on a pinball machine. Oh yeah, nice paint. It does make quite a nice change to paint with something it's got a bit of thickness to it actually. It's probably about 40 years since I used model-making paints. I do remember making planes and things when I was really young. In fact, that's probably where I started enjoying painting and making things, like the little kits that you used to get. And actually, I wasn't really that bothered about making them, but I used to love painting them at the end.
With the paintwork refreshed, it's time to replace the glass.
Esther has got grandchildren and they'll want to play. And so rather than the standard glass that was in it, I'm going to put a laminate glass in, which even when it breaks, it all holds together so you don't get bits of glass, which will be safer for the kids as well. Well, every time I'm about to put the glass in, I find yet another bit of dust or something that's just dropped off. I want to get it absolutely spotless because it's very hard once it's in to get it out again. Let's have a look. How does that look? Oops, not gonna get me. Oh, that's good. Phew. Someone said to me, I know a guy who's got loads of pinball machines he's trying to get rid of. So ended up with about 10 or so. And my parents came home and they said, Geoffrey, you can have as many as you like, dear, but they have to be in your room. So I had to get rid of all the furniture. And I slept under pinball machines in a sleeping bag for the rest of my life, basically. Lovely. Going to give it a little bit more of a clean-up, but it is as it is. I mean, this machine has a history and is mildly but charmingly battered.
Will and Suzie have been working together on the restoration of a much-loved rocking horse. And Will's side of the transformation is in the final furlong.
I'm now using some shellac polish to seal the paintwork in. It's also giving it a lovely sort of antique glow, not just the protection.
Once the shellac is dry, it's over to Suzie to saddle him up.
Hello.
Oh, my word, Will.
And that's how it goes.
Look at him. Isn't he fantastic?
Isn't he handsome? Thank you very much, sweetheart.
All right, Will, thank you.
It's been a labour of love to bring Julie's childhood rocking horse back to life, just as she and her late husband Paul had intended.
Really nervous today. Can't wait to see the rocking horse unveiled. It's going to mean so much to have it restored and working again, because it was something that Paul and I longed to do. We'd only talked about doing it the last couple of years, not knowing what was around the corner for Paul, obviously. And it's just going to complete what Paul would have done. But I am really, really nervous. No idea how it's going to look.
Hi, Julie.
Hello.
Hi.
Julie, this is Suzie.
Lovely
Hi
to
there.
meet you. How are
Nice
you?
to see you again.
I cannot wait to see this rocking horse. I'm really nervous. I didn't think I would be. I am so, so excited.
Okay.
You ready?
Right. Let's have a
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness me. That's mine.
It's yours.
Oh, I don't get emotional, so I won't. Oh, my word. Oh, you've worked so hard. Oh, if my husband was here, he'd shake your hands. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. I'm shaking.
Well, there is something I'd like to show you if you come around here.
Saddle comes off. Oh. I don't know whether I can look. Oh, lovely. Oh, bless him. Oh, yeah, he'd be so proud. So I'm so proud. He'd be proud of what you've done. I am just bowled over by it. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how pleased I am to see that rocking horse. It's just wonderful. And I wish Paul could be here to see it. But it's brought the story to a close. It's, you know, full circle. It's back to how Paul and I would have wanted it.
Clockwork expert Steve is deconstructing the Victorian barograph. He needs to clean the entire mechanism.
Whenever I take something apart like this that probably never been apart, it's quite nice knowing that the last person to do anything to it was to put it together all that time ago.
While picking his way through the components, Steve thinks he's found what could be the issue with the faulty clockwork.
Right, so this is not pulling out straight away, which means probably that the pivot is pretty worn. So you can see how black that pivot is. If I take that dirt off, you can see that the pivot is actually badly, badly worn. So I'm going to have to turn that down and put a new bearing in. How this clock was ever going, I don't know. It's absolutely full of black grease. I think someone's been pouring oil onto it as well to try and get it going. Right, well, I've just got to give it a thorough good clean through now, repair that pivot, and I think it's going to be absolutely fine. This should just lift out now. Good. Well done. Right, I'm just going to put all the bits and pieces in the cleaning fluid.
With his hands full with the mechanism, Steve needs help if he's going to weather this storm. And having delivered the rocking horse safely back to its owner, Will is just the man for the job.
Got a little job for you to do here. This is a Barograph case, and basically I'd like you to refinish the box.
So a bit of TLC.
Yeah, it's an easy job for you.
Yeah, OK, leave it with me, and I'll give it a bit of clean and a polish.
OK, bro. Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
Now the pieces of the barograph mechanism have had time to soak in clock cleaning fluid. After a quick scrub with some wire wool, they're as good as new.
That's made a difference. That's come up really well.
From afar, it actually looks like it's in pretty good condition, but you sort of open it up here, you can see it's starting to sort of give way and pop out. So before I clean it, I'd quite like to get that stabilised. What I've done is I've mixed some glue in with some pigments, similar sort of background colour to the box. That will sort of help fill it out and blend it in so it's not so obvious. Then I use some masking tape. It's almost as a clamp to sort of really bring those sides in whilst the glue's drying, because it's going to give you the tension that you need with less risk of damage. Right, so now that that's dried, I'm going to start giving a clean over with this rag. What I'm using is just a cleaning solution which is sort of made of white spirit and methylated spirit. It's not too strong. When cleaning furniture, if the rag that you're cleaning it with looks grey and black, that means that you're removing the dirt. But if it starts looking brown, that shows I'm probably at the level where the varnish and the polish is. So I really need to stop cleaning that area now and keep working my way around the box.
The main reason why it was stopping was one of the pivots is very, very worn. Right, just pop it into the lathe.
The pivots are the little posts that hold the wheels in place as they rotate. If they are damaged, the wheels won't line up properly and power the mechanism. So Steve is going to reshape the tiny pivot.
Now, because I've taken some metal off of that pivot, if I were to put it into the hole that it's supposed to go into, it's just loose. It rattles around in there and could well stop the clock. So what I need to do is find the right size bush for it. So this is a ready-made bush, tiny piece of brass with a hole already drilled in it. I've got to drill out the plates so that this will push in friction tight, really, really tight, and make sure it's the right size for that pivot. So I'm going to put the bush in now. That's sitting over the hole now, and I'm just going to press it in. And that's it. I'm just going to make sure that it actually spins nice and freely in the plates. So that's spinning beautifully now. So the clock's all ready to give it its final clean up, and I'll put it together and it'll work.
Jeff is also on a winning streak with his repair of the 1930s pinball machine. He's just got some last-minute adjustments.
It's trying to get the balls to run smoothly. They sometimes stick halfway. What I'm going to do with my spanner, I just loosen it a tiny bit. And just a little movement, tiny bit. So let's have a look. Put that back in. That rests on there. And that's great. Bob's your uncle. Let's see if it works now. So far, so good. Come on, come on. Oh, no, I don't believe it. Oh, just missed 1,000.
Jeff is hard at work testing the pinball machine. But sadly for him, owner Esther and family are on their way back into the repair shop to collect it.
The pinball machine belonged to my grandfather, and I think if it's restored and working, he will be smiling to think something he bought before the war is going to be played with by his great-great-grandchildren. If it's working, fingers crossed.
Hello, Esther. I see you brought a gang with you, which is very exciting. Very nice to meet you all. So, do you remember what this machine was like before?
Pins stuck in it.
Pins stuck in it, yeah, that's it. Old, yes, old with pins stuck in it.
Rusty.
And rusty, excellent. Do you remember it at all?
It had no glass.
Had no glass, excellent. Well, should we have a little look? There we go.
Wow. Isn't that lovely? The colours are so much better. Oh, it's smashing, yes. And got its glass back, which is good. Has it taken a lot of work?
It had all seized up and the mechanism under the playfield had jammed, but once I got it apart, it was a very, I think it will outlast us all, actually, to be honest, yeah. Which is
So you'll
fantastic.
have it when you're old people?
Yeah. Esther, does it bring back memories?
It does. Of playing in the attic at my grandparents' house when I was probably that sort of size. Of dragging it out when we had gatherings. Yeah. You know, there's a sort of slight sentimental value,
Of course.
I suppose. Wow.
It's come out of its hermitage now, and hopefully we'll live a fulfilled and happy life with you all. I do hope so. Fantastic. It's been lovely doing it, actually. It's a beautifully made thing. And you can't get really good at it. You have to beat my high score is 3,600, which is pretty good. Who's going to have the first game?
You really got it.
I think the owner ought to decide who goes first, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
I will. To avoid any fighting. I'll put the penny in and pull the first one.
Get it? Ooh. Hey, nice. That's very good. We're going to wrap it up and to have plays at home. That'd be fantastic, lovely. Lovely to meet you all. Really nice to see you. Bye-bye. Take care. Cheerio.
Take care, Jeff.
Thank you very much. And you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
We love it. My grandfather loved children very, very much. And I think if he's smiling down or wherever he is, his spirit would be delighted to witness this little group. Grandad would be very touched, I think. Yes, he would.
It's been a team effort to renovate the Barograph. While Steve's been overhauling the delicate instrument, Will's been renovating the wooden case.
For you.
That's looking really good. Well done.
Much. Give it a clean, fix those loose joints. Definitely looks a lot better.
Oh, no, that looks absolutely perfect.
Lovely.
Good, thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to seeing that in there.
Yeah,
You nearly there?
nearly there.
Nearly there, but I can't wait to see it finish. See you later.
Steve is satisfied all the delicate components of the Barograph's inner workings are clean and repaired. Now he can rebuild the machine, starting with the clock mechanism.
This is really satisfying. Doing these final stages, if all goes well, it should tick away. Phew, that's ticking away with a great action. Very pleased with that.
Next, the Barograph itself.
So it's ticking away merrily. It's going to work nicely. That's it. It's done.
When meteorology and climate student Ollie brought the Barograph to the repair shop, it hadn't predicted the weather for years. Now he's returned to collect the treasured instrument, and he's brought along his grandfather Bob, also a weather fanatic.
Hello. Hiya. Hello, Ollie.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hi. You all right?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Hello.
This is my granddad, Bob.
Oh, yeah. How are you?
Hi, I'm Steve.
Good, yeah. I knew who you were.
So, Ollie, what are you hoping?
I'm hoping that it's completely working now. I can use it. Right. Well, you can see the fluctuations for sure, yeah.
Do you think you've done it, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Right. Let's show you the finished thing. So, there we go.
Fantastic. Looks brilliant.
Excellent.
So Will's done the box for you. Yeah, it does look lovely.
Yeah, it does.
Lift it up, Steve. Let him have a picture.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Looks almost new, doesn't it, now?
Yeah, it does.
And can you hear anything?
I can, yeah.
OK, you can hear it ticking away. It's all working beautifully.
Really looks brilliant.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've just straightened all of that out.
Yeah.
It's working absolutely super.
Really?
Yeah. Let me come round and
Okay, great.
I'll show you how to set the needle into the graph and turn this around and have it to the correct day and time. There we are. So now that's going to carry on now and fluctuate with the atmospheric pressure.
So great to see it working.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
So you're going to have lots of fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to get it packed up and get it ready for you to take home.
Great, well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
been
for
really
bringing
nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
This Barograph is good for Ollie because it introduces the old method of doing things as opposed to all the electronics that he's used to today.
When I take the Barograph home, I'm going to put it back in my room in the space that it usually was. Hasn't been there for a while, so it'd be nice to have it back. And I'll keep changing the papers every week and, yeah, keep it going.